Hi guys, Colin here. Happy Christmas. It's December 24th, 2019 right now. I am making this video because, well, it's going to be the first of hopefully many. Um, so some of you might know, a lot of you probably don't because I've been trying to keep it as much under wraps as I can, but mostly not to get my own hopes up. But essentially, um, over the past year, I've been trying to put together the workings of a small side business, essentially, to my day job. Um, for those of you who don't know, I'm a reporter for the Journal Pioneer in Summerside, Prince Edward Island, Canada. The Journal is a small daily newspaper that covers the western part of the island. And I love my job. It's a great job. It's a really interesting career, all that good stuff. Um, but I don't think it'll come to a shock to anybody that the pay isn't exactly all that great. So, it was about a year ago when I was thinking to myself, like, what's the next step sort of for me in my career path or life or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, um, it came down to a choice basically of do I leave a job that I enjoy and try to find something else that might move my career along a little more, or do I try to find something on the side that will support essentially my being able to be a reporter for a newspaper. Um, and I decided to try the second option. So for about a year, I've been working on trying to put something together. And as a lot of you know, if you know me, you know I like to garden and grow things and produce food, and cook with it and all that fun stuff. So that's just something I enjoy a lot. So what I've come up with is actually a small indoor vertical garden. So or farm. So essentially, it would be growing high value crops in an indoor environment, under LEDs mostly. Um, Things like microgreens, bok choy, herbs, basil especially, um, some other stuff, lettuce, you name it, and you can grow it inside. And it's something I've been really kind of researching and looking into and crunching numbers on and putting plans together and then chucking out those plans and then starting again and then making more plans. And I've been working on this a lot for about a year now. And recently, after a few false starts, I actually got approved for a business loan through the CBDC, um, which is awesome, but it also sort of made it a little real at this point. Before it was like it was just these plans, and I was trying to convince people to, buy in and to give me a loan essentially so that I can get this started. The loan is for $20,000, um, and I can include some more information about the loan itself in some part of the video a little later, or I can get into that a little more if people are interested in it. Um, so now I actually have to start, making this thing work, which is exciting, but also pretty terrifying because I don't have a business degree. I went to school to be a reporter, but reporters research. Reporters know how to find people who have information that we need. So this is what I've been doing for the past year: is just talking to people, researching, annoying a lot of government officials with requests for programs and advice and all this stuff. So that's what I've been doing, and as part of that, now that I have that loan that's sort of sitting in the ether somewhere for me, um, I wanted to start doing these videos, hopefully weekly, just to kind of keep people in the loop because I post a lot about gardening and hydroponics and aquaponics and all these kind of things that I do in my own time. And people are always talking to me about it. Like, they just really seem to enjoy seeing that part of my life. So I thought, this might be something that people would be interested in, and it'll help, drum up, maybe some support for the business. Um, and also, I mean, I'm completely new at this. I don't know anything really about running a business. I can grow pretty much anything, but selling it, packaging it, all that stuff, I'm going to have to basically learn how to do all of that. And if I can crowdsource some of that information, you know, through advice or comments on videos, or people reaching out and saying, "Hey, this worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you." I mean, that's awesome. That's what the internet is. The good side of the internet is all about. So that's why I wanted to make these videos, and I hope people will enjoy them, and feel free to reach out and offer advice and criticism too. Constructive criticism, hopefully, but I'm a reporter, so I'm used to the other kind of criticism as well. Have at it. I've heard worse. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little starter video just to kind of explain why my face is probably showing up on your social media feed more than it usually does. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to do is just kind of show you a bit about the actual space itself. So it doesn't look like much, but this is actually my home. You can kind of see it. You see out, there we go. There's kind of the front porch, but we're in right now is this room that we don't use for anything else. It's just storage. It's kind of messy right now, but this is actually looks better than it used to be. But this actually used to be a greenhouse. When my grandparents owned this home, my grandmother had a greenhouse on this piece of the property that she would start a lot of her flowers in. When she retired, they tore that down, unfortunately, and she put up this sunroom, which unfortunately, again, she didn't really get to use all that much before she passed away. But this room, there's no heat in it. It is insulated. The walls are insulated. The ceiling and the roof floor is not. So it gets really hot out here in the summer and really cold in the winter. So it's really not good for anything, except for right now we have storage and just stuff we don't know what to do with in it. I tried growing some stuff out here this fall, but again, without heat, it's too cold out here. So I'm going to have to renovate this room, turn it into my indoor farm. I'm going to use grow racks, so just tiers of vegetables as high as I can get them, and just cram as much production into this room as possible. I'm also going to be using some Zip Grow towers. If you have looked into those, I can include a link. But they allow for production of a lot of different leafy greens, vegetables, that kind of thing. Actually, you can see some right here, but I'll do another video about these guys. I have 8 of them. I'm buying another 20 8-foot towers from someone who's looking to sell them. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that's another part of this that got this started, but I can do another video about that sometime. But anyway, we're getting close to 10 minutes here, but essentially, yeah, I'm looking to start a small side business, selling, some in-demand herbs and greens, and eventually I want to do culinary flowers, edible flowers. But you can do pretty much anything in an indoor grow space like this. Well, once we get some more work done to it, as you can see, it needs some work. But yeah, it's going to be a process, and I hope to kind of bring people along with that, even if even if it's just so that you can tell me what the hell I'm doing wrong. So anyway, thank you. I appreciate everybody who I have told about this has been really supportive. And I just want you to know that I really appreciate that. So, yeah, eventually I'll get the social media stuff and the website and everything going. It's going to take a little while before we get into actual production and all that stuff. But but for the next week, it's Christmas, so it's going to be kind of quiet for a week or so. But then I'll get right into it. I'm looking for a contractor to actually do some work here, and take out that window that I don't need anymore, and which is kind of grody anyway. Replace that door, which is just a glass sliding door, and which doesn't actually close all the way, so is actually just open to the elements a little bit there. Insulate the ceiling, insulate the floor. Um, you know, Put in the breakers for the lights, the LEDs. Well, actually, I have an electrician who's actually I've already kind of retained to do that, but to actually do some of the kind of structural work that I need in here, I need this place to be as insulated as possible to cut down on heat loss, and as well as helping to keep pests and pathogens and mold and all that kind of stuff out of here. So it's going to be a lot of work, but I have to find somebody to help me do that. And then from there, we'll get the electrical in, a little bit of plumbing, just to have some water out here. This is mostly going to be hydroponic stuff. Might do a little bit of soil, but from what I understand, just mixing the two doesn't work all that well, just because soil tends to bring in bugs and pests and things that you're trying to keep out in a really clean room. So, but that's part of the learning process. Might try it and see how it goes. So yeah, that'll be my mission for the next week essentially. Which these videos will also help keep me on track. People can say, "Hey, how did your project for the week go?" But anyway, yeah. So my next week is going to be actually trying to find a contractor, and as you know, in the island right now, a lot of you might know, the economy is booming, and finding a contractor is hard. So do my best. Hopefully, the fact that I actually have the cash and it's a relatively simple job, I hope, will kind of entice somebody to actually come and do this. So anyway, thanks so much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year if I don't do another video before that, although I'm hoping to do one every week. And thank you so much for the support that everybody has shown. And yeah, here goes nothing. Thanks.